Welcome everyone to our next unit. We will be covering Unit K. Last session we completed Unit J, which was over creating and processing web forms. This time we're going to move into incorporating video and audio into our website design. So let's go ahead and look at our objectives for Unit K this week. As you see, the first part will be under understanding web, video, and audio. Moving into use the video element. We're going to incorporate the source element. We're going to work on control playback. We're going to show how to add video support for older browsers. We're going to provide a fallback image. We're going to implement the audio element, and we're going to conclude with add audio support for older browsers. So let's go ahead and take a look at our eText and see the steps for our first portion. Now before we get into our steps for using the video element, it's important to understand web video and audio a little bit because, as you know, video and audio are widespread on the web today. There's so many tools out there that users can use to manipulate and publish videos straight through their cameras or phones and upload different items to the web right away. So your job as a web developer is to make the choices on how to incorporate that video and audio into your web pages so as to accommodate the technologies that your intended audience of the web pages are, as well as making sure that you don't face any potential licensing issues for business clients. So, it's very important to understand the details of how video and audio are encoded, published, and viewed for the web. So make sure that your media files can be included in a web page, provided that you take into consideration three important elements: encoding and container elements or formats, inclusion of helper programs and plugins, and providing support for older browsers. Generally speaking, recent versions of your major browsers such as Google Chrome, IE, which is being phased out and replaced, they've simplified web video and audio somewhat by incorporating the ability to process those media files and play that web video and audio from within the browser software itself. So you can search on the terms browser video support in a search engine to research which browser currently supports which containers natively. And you can look at some important pages here in your eText. Table K1 shows you the main web video and audio codecs. And you can look at that to see the name of the codec, who it was developed by, and if there's any licensing that's required or any type of payments that need to be made. The next one is table K2, which shows our real popular container formats. And as you recall, video is usually accompanied by audio and an encoded set of video data. This is known as a stream. And a stream is packaged for distribution within a file known as a container. And these are the most popular container formats currently. Alright, so now that you know a little bit more about understanding web video and audio, let's go ahead and jump into our first set of steps for Unit K. We're going to be using the video element. So obviously, to add video to our web page, we need to use a video element, which is introduced in HTML5. And we're going to go ahead and, as long as with having the element, we also have attributes. And you can see in table K-3 here, those are our video element attributes that can go along with our video element. And you use these to indicate how your video is going to be presented to the web page users, as well as the type and location of a specific video file to play. Okay guys, so here are the steps we're going to be performing for using our video element. Now you've seen those steps, let's go ahead and look at the files we'll be working with in this unit. And here are those files for Unit K that you'll be working with that you got from your data files collection. So let's go ahead and complete that first step, which is to open up the htmk-1.html file from the folder. We're going to insert a blank line before closing the body tag, or before the closing body tag, insert a paragraph element containing your first name and last name and the text HTML5 unit K. Then save the file as events.html. You've done this every week, so I'm not going to perform those steps. So go ahead and get your name in there and the text of HTML5 unit K, and then resave that file as events.html. Okay, with our events file still open here in our text editor, we're going to go beneath the paragraph containing the text June and July. We're going to insert our opening and closing video tags on separate lines. So let's scroll down now. There's our June and July. Let's go to inner line, and we will insert our opening and closing video tags here. There you go. We've got both our opening and closing with a line separating the two. Now that we've got our opening and closing tags done, we're going to work within the video tag, and we're going to add an attribute value pair that's listed here. We're going to use the source attribute to specify the path and the file name of the video file that we want to put in there. We're going to use a width and a height. Now, similar to their use in the image element that we've used before, these attributes are going to specify the video file to display and the dimensions of the video element within the web page. The reference video file is a 320 pix by 240 pix, so you set the dimensions of the video element to match that reference video file. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go here in our opening video tag here, add a space, and we're going to put our source line now. Now we've declared where our file name and path is, as well as the size. The next step that we have to do is to add another attribute value pair, which is our type, video MP4. We're going to be using codecs AVC1.42E01E, MP4A 40.2. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's add that. So we just simply add a space, put that attribute value pair there, and once again this value describes the container format, the video codec, and the audio codec. Just want to make a quick point here that the entire value for the type attribute is surrounded by single quotes to avoid confusion with the double quotes that surround the codec values. Alright, let's go ahead and save our work now. And we're going to open up our events.html in our browser and take a look at that when we refresh it. So here is our events page before we make any changes. Now let's go ahead and refresh our page and see those changes that we've just made into our events.html file. And you should see this now. What you'll see is that the first frame of the video is displayed by default. Now if you're able to see the video here as we do, you should be able to right click on it and click play. And you can see that our video is playing. There are no controls, but our video is there and is playing. It's a 30-second long video, so you can watch it if you like. Not that much to it other than seeing those butterflies. And that concludes our using the video element portion for Unit K. Let's go ahead and move on to the next section. Now, most of your modern browsers can render video natively without requiring users to install any type of additional programs, but not all browsers support all containers. Therefore, it's often necessary to reference multiple video files, each specifying the same video in different encoding and container formats so as to accommodate the potential range of browser capabilities of your potential website users. We must now we're going to nest some multiple instances of another HTML element, and this is called the source element. And this is going to be within a video element to specify the location and encoding of multiple files. And here in our Lakeland Reads Bed and Breakfast website, we're going to do this because we know that not all of the website's video users will be able to view the video if we only make it in the MPEG-4 AAC file. So we're going to use the source element to reference 3 video formats that were provided. So let's go ahead and look at those instructions now. Here are the steps we're going to use to incorporating the source element into our website. Now that we've looked at our steps, let's go ahead and return to our events.html file that's in our text editor. Should still be open. Now we're going to go down here to the line that we put in before in between our opening and closing video tags, and we're going to add 3 one-sided source tags on separate lines. So let's go ahead and do that now. So we have our open source tags, but we haven't put any information in. We haven't closed them. Let's go back up to the first one now. The next thing we're going to do is within the first source tag we have here, we're going to cut and paste the source and type attribute value pairs from our opening video tag that we created. So let's go ahead and do that now. First we will get our source attribute value pair here. And so we're going to cut and paste that. We'll paste that there. Go ahead and add a space, and the next we're going to do is take out our type. And paste that there. And we'll go ahead and close that by putting a /. Now your code should look similar to that. Now that we've done that one, we're going to do our second and third source tags here. So in our second source tag, let's go ahead and go on down there. We've got some information. We're going to have our source as media/bfly.webm, and then we're going to give it a type video /webm, and we're going to assign the codecs VP8 Vorbis. So let's go ahead and do that now. So go ahead and add your source and type attribute value pairs here. Should look just like that. You can also reference figure K4 in your eText. And then we will do our third source tag element here. We'll add our attribute value pairs. And go ahead and add those now for your source and your type attribute. Once you've got those in, you'll see that now we have our source elements have been added for 3 files in different container formats and encoded using different codecs, so as to be able to make sure that other browsers are able to view that video file. Now that you've got that done, let's go ahead and save your work and reload your HTML page. Go ahead and reload now. And we can still have our controls here by right-clicking on the first frame. And you can see that our video still works. More than likely you didn't really see a change occur, but this is just to make sure that we've incorporated our source elements to allow other video of the different container formats and codecs are available to users using different browsers. That's it for incorporating the source element, guys. We'll move on next to controlling our playback.